This is the stuff dreams are made of. I am writer-collector Ryan Condal.
And I'm writer-collector Dave Mandel. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Dave. We're at the end of our internet patience and problems tonight.
We'll start off with a couple of shout-outs. First of all, thank you, Spectrum, for making this unfucking believable today.
Making this night both impossible and also possible.
Yeah, this is about the 11th reboot, the 14th modem reboot. It literally got to the point where the guy from Spectrum told me, and I quote, to unscrew the coaxial cable from the modem and screw it back in. That sometimes makes the connection better. To which I said, that seems to be a problem with the system if that's making things better. And he did not seem to neither get the sarcasm nor think that there was a problem with his statement.
Did the chat GPT didn't get your humor? Was that the problem?
I feel like that AI would have been smarter than the guy I was dealing with. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say there was a human fallibility to it all. Yes. But we are finally working. If the internet goes out during this recording, the show is going to suddenly end. There's nothing wrong with your podcast app. Just know we quit. We just gave up and quit. And whatever you get of this show is what you get. Like right now.
We'll just call it the holiday special.
Yeah, just frozen and done. And that's it. Yeah. And you'll just see us there like... And that'll be it. And that's the show. You get what you get. Just
rolling the credits like it's the end of an 80s sitcom, right?
Do you remember whatchamacallit, where they used to the Police Squad before it would? Did you ever? Are you too young? Did you ever see the show?
No.
Oh, you saw the show? Okay, when they would just stand there and pretend to freeze and just for the whole credits. God damn. Yeah, that was very enjoyable.
So good.
How are you? Everything good?
Yeah, everything is good. We're marching dangerously close to production here. By the time this airs, I think we will be in production.
Ooh,
so we're in those last days of
where do you start? Do you know where your first day is?
Yeah.
Studio, another country? What?
Yes. No, we're at the studio. We're at the studio for a good bit before we go off and do anything else.
Oh, well, that's good. That's at least comforting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's it'll be fairly civilized to start, and then before you know it, the madness of 2 units and running at once and all that fun stuff. But it's been a long road, so we're excited to get started and doing script read-throughs now and cast rehearsals and all that stuff. But
very fun. And are those back to like in person, like regular, the way they used to? Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
Yep.
I feel like Zoom did many great things, including this fine podcast, I guess in its earliest days. But table reads was not a Zoom strength, I will simply say. Yeah.
No. Yeah. We did this horrible one for the first season, which, I mean, there are photos of it online where it just looks like this dystopian nightmare. It looks like something out of Clockwork Orange. And we could only have like 10 people in the room, and everybody had to sit like a full 3 meters apart. So they set us up at these desks, and you weren't looking at each other. You were looking into this, basically a Zoom session with the live people in the room. And obviously I wasn't doing anything. I mean, I wasn't reading or anything. I was just listening and taking notes on the script. But then these poor actors who have never, now it's very light and breezy because they've been in the show before and they know each other.
Yes, which is a big part of it. Yeah.
That thing, HBO was watching, and it was just really, really crazy. And I was sitting there why are we even doing this? It does not seem like a productive exercise. But no, it's much better now. And it's actually funny because we had casting all in person this year as well, where, I mean, most of the show in season 1, other than the kids, we really cast kind of by tape.
Right.
And sometimes a live Zoom session or something like that. And it's obviously much better for us to do it in the room because you get a sense of the person. You get to interact.
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course.
Tell them give them context around the part. But
And by the
we
way,
had a couple.
sometimes you see something and you go, "Hey, try it like this," and you get an idea. And whether it's where it goes in the end or not, it also shows, a certain amount of versatility. Like, oh my God, look how they took that note and they did it angrier, or they did it more innocent,
Yeah,
or whatever the note is. Yeah.
yeah. But I have to tell you, we had a couple of people, all the actors, like a kind of to a person that came in and read this year, said, "Oh, it's so strange to be back in the room after years away because they're still not doing a lot of room stuff. I mean, our show has the budget to bring people in and put them up and whatever when we get there to the kind of the final short list. But we had a couple of actors like sort of wig out a bit being back in the room because they had gotten so used to taping
Oh,
that
interesting.
they actually did not do well with the live the
Oh,
live read.
fascinating.
And I can imagine that's a thing. You either prefer it one way or the other, and I think some people kind of got used to being able to do it in their own space and lay down a quote unquote perfect take without feeling like you were on the immediate spot. I mean, there's a bit of an artificiality to that setting, so I totally get it.
I did not particularly enjoy watching the I did not enjoy watching these sort of sent in sort of tapes, but I also did not particularly enjoy sort of trying even to like watch even a live audition on Zoom. It just was not fun. It just felt, it was nobody's best. It was not my
Yeah,
best. It was not their best. Just never felt normal. We cast people and they all worked out very well, but it was not fun. I just did not. I don't, like I said, I don't think anybody liked it. It was what
yeah.
it was. But we actually, rightly or wrongly, we ended up not even bothering with a table read on Plumbers, just because it just seemed pointless. It just truly seemed pointless. Both in terms of, I think, as hard as drama is, I think comedy is that much worse on Zoom. The idea of
Oh
timing
yeah.
and all of that kind of stuff, and it just seemed like a nightmare that was going to open up more problems than it was worth. So just kind of skipped it, which was fine. But obviously you do like to hear stuff out loud. Uh, but anyway, no good
Yeah.
answer. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, we've just kind of gone very casually with the directors and the cast, just reading one script at a time, just to essentially do start off a rehearsal period.
Yeah.
So just kind of every day we read a different one, and it's great to hear it aloud. You get certain things. We have these great readers who are cutting through the scene description and making it exciting, and it's been really really fun. And for the first time, I think since I've been doing these, it has not felt stilted this time. There's always a artificiality or formality around it, and I think that's a lot of times because the network is there, honestly.
Right.
And it's just, I think everybody just feels like they're performing.
Right. That
Or in
they're
this
also
case,
that they're
it's
being judged as opposed
yes,
to working things out. When we used to do like, table reads of like comedy movies and stuff, whatever, the old trick was always to literally try and bring in the funniest guy you could who isn't in the movie to read the table, the
yeah,
stage directions. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
just like to get like a really funny guy doing it just so that like they were interesting and exciting. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it just, and it was just, it was a trick, but it always kind of worked. Do you know what I mean? It was
Gilbert
just to
Gottfried.
basically, yeah, exactly. um, but no, being able to rehearse and all of that kind of stuff. We used to, especially on Veep, if we could, we would, if we had the sets, if it was a big scene with a set, we would
Yeah.
actually try and even go to the set and do it there, and work on movements, especially in the back end. Anytime we had a Selena Tom scene with Tom James, Hugh Laurie, that those were always
Mm.
just big scenes, and we would often do them in the office, kind of do a rewrite based on that, and then later on like get it on its feet in the location. Like sometimes like those we'd even like double rehearse, like even just to really just get those as perfect as possible, because there was always so much both physicality as well as, anyway, more than anybody wanted to know.
That's
What's
cool.
new?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
what's new in props, my friend? Anything good?
Well, we had
I've been on
we've
vacation.
been
I was going to say, I have been on vacation. I just got back from Hawaii and was very well rested until this internet nonsense. But, and even, dare I say, a little tan. I don't know if you can see, I'm on the
I
YouTube.
do.
Little
You got some
tan and
excellent color,
wrinkled,
Dave.
little color. Yep, little
Yeah.
color. So I have nothing new, but how about you?
Well, I would say I was able to exploit your vacation a little bit, Dave. We for the first time in I don't know what, coming up on 3 years, right, of doing this podcast. We've had a hit come through the email transom. We had a real big fish kind of come through and make an offer, and somebody heard our comic art special, which by the way was a fairly big hit. I mean, it seems like everybody really enjoyed it. There's been a lot of ask, hope, demand for a second one, which I think we will do at some point because there's certainly other topics that people want to talk about. But somebody heard me talking about my list and came through on the old Gmail address that you can just rolls right off your tongue, Dave. You can remember it. I'm sure it's right there in the forefront of your mind. And had these two fantastic Hellboy pages from very early in the run.
I don't understand what is wrong with my
just
life. I'm just going to sit here and say this. I collect
just
comic
offer them
art.
up.
I know I have a lot of good Hellboy. I know I don't necessarily need Hellboy. Why the hell are the people? I'm the comic art collector. Why are people not emailing me to offer me things? Why are they offering you things?
They use the Ryan 10 code when they.
I don't understand. I literally just don't understand. Why? Why does our audience hate me? I don't know. I don't get it.
I think he just liked my. I think he liked my the fact that I didn't have any comic art. I think he felt bad for me.
Felt
I think
bad for you?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Just literally speechless. Literally speechless.
He wanted me to be to be able to join the club a bit. But these two really wonderful pages came across, and I think we're still in the process, but the deal, it looks like it's going to happen, and I'm going to have my
do
first
everything I
real...
can to torpedo this deal. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to destroy you and those pages.
I just wanted to thank you, Dave, for going to Hawaii during that time.
I just do not get it. I just don't get it. Well, with that in mind, worst segue ever. We thought today, I think we had mentioned it a little bit ago, that there was a Julien's auction coming up April 22nd and 23rd, and we'd heard rumor of some cool stuff, and the catalog just went live online. And ironically, they don't sponsor us. They've never given us $1, and yet we thought we'd go through their catalog. And who knows? Maybe they'll sponsor us. Yes.
This is the Julien's.
This is the Julien's catalog brought to you by Propstore. By your friends at Propstore, who want you to know, don't bid at Julien's, save your money for Propstore. That's their new tagline.
But we're going to go through
we're going to go through this Julien's auction, which is kind of cool. We're going to kind of take you through it. So you can go to julienslive.com. You can get yourself a copy of the catalog there. You can order one. You can look at it online and kind of just jump through it.
It's called the Hollywood Classic and Contemporary auction. It's auction 3359 for anybody looking to look it up. So I think there's.
I was just going to say, and I think once again they are tied together, right, with whatchamacallit, the TCM or whatever, Turner Classics, right? Is it? I think it's they're connected. I think.
Oh, is it? Is that what this is? Because usually isn't that Bonhams usually?
Oh, is that Bonhams? I thought it was them too. Well.
I mean, it has the feel of that because there's a bunch of very, very vintage Hollywood in here, but I don't know. I didn't see it on the cover.
I saw a weird preview, but anyway, I didn't look at the cover. But okay,
it's entirely possible. Yeah. Oh, it actually does, Dave. You're right. It does on the. I went back and it says
broken clock is right twice a day.
You're usually right about prop stuff.
Just don't ask me the email.
That's right. That's right.
TCM
the truth
at
is,
propstore.
If you want to be offered stuff through our email address, you need to know the email address, Dave. So
says you.
But please continue to send us your cool comic art through.
Please send Ryan the cover to Star Wars 7, which I've been looking for my entire life. Please, Marvel Star Wars 7
podcast at gmail.com.
Offer it to Ryan for $3.07, please.
the cover
Should
price.
we dive in and do a
Yeah,
little?
yeah, let's do it. I think this will be a bit of a cruise, just based on what's in here, but it will certainly pause and highlight some interesting things that we spot along the way. Um, uh, yeah. So
Yeah,
there's a lot. There's a like 1,300 lots in this, so it's a big boy.
it's a very big auction. Although that's one of the things I actually I took a quick look through, and there were a couple of things that were interesting as to why it's so big. But we'll talk to that when we get to it. But
Right.
yeah. Um, but first up, which is pretty darn interesting, it's something we've sort of talked a little bit around the other one of the shows when we were talking about dream props, and we were talking Charlie Chaplin a bit. This is a lot number one, a Charlie Chaplin cane.
Yeah.
Not from one of the movies, but from later in his life, from some appearances and whatnot, where I guess he redid versions of the Little Tramp and whatnot. Pretty damn cool. I mean, I don't know what else
Yeah.
to say. It again, there might be a better cane or something like of that, that kind of a thing, but where are you going to find it? So I thought pretty darn cool for all the reasons. And there seems to be some letter kind of with it. I didn't really get into it about who was gifted it to what and whatnot, but I don't know, pretty cool. Just sort of heck, just to see. Again, not a bidder, but really neat to see. And the whole top of this auction, as I'm kind of skimming through it, is sort of some classic old comedy. There's Laurel and Hardy autographs, Stan Laurel signed check. I stopped because I just have to say it really, really made me laugh. Look at lots 14 and 15. These are, I kid you not, nude photos of Harpo Marx on the set of Horse Feathers. And they are full frontal nudes.
Yeah.
And they are so fucking funny. I mean, I don't know how you value this, and I don't quite know what you would do with this, but I have to admit, Harpo Marx, you made me laugh. Whatever it is, 50.
This was apparently his thing.
80 years. 80. Yeah, apparently he was a big. Often dropped his pants, and there's a lot of nudity in the history of the Marx Brothers. A famous story of them getting into an elevator, taking off all their clothes to surprise people and getting off on the wrong floor. But look, if you ever wanted some shots of Harpo laying on a couch with his penis out, these are them, and you cannot help but laugh at it. That's all I'm going to say. So
they are the best,
Harpo.
the best Marx nudes that I've seen so far. They're very funny.
Made me laugh.
This is before, long before the Time's Up movement. But then something that just jumped out to me just because of what it was. This lot 22, the Theta Bara Cleopatra. It says it's really a photo matched.
Cool, yeah.
Headdress from Theta Bara's Cleopatra, so the very first, the silent era,
the first version, silent era,
very famous silent film star, and this is from 1917, so it's over 100 years old, and they say it matches to the promotional photos, so that's super cool.
That's really neat.
That's something that I just feel like the Academy should have that, don't you?
Yes, I agree. That is, it belongs in a museum, and it belongs in that museum. That just really feels like that, and the Harpo Marx nudes feel really like film history that I feel like I'd like to take my children to the Academy Museum and they would be able to see both. So yeah. The Mary Pickford contract was pretty interesting. Only because I have been reading a little book recommendation. I'll take a quick second. There's a new book on the history of the Academy Awards and sort of all the ins and outs by Michael Schulman, who actually, I'll give a shout out, is the son of my old fifth grade teacher, Nancy Schulman, as it turns out. But the book is really good. He's been in like a Vanity Fair writer and I think a bunch of other stuff. And the book is really interesting. And I've been very much reading about the sort of the dawn of the Academy and sort of how it started, the awards of merit and all of that kind of stuff, and sort of the early history. It's just been very interesting. So it's just kind of neat to see some of this Mary Pickford stuff, which is, again, just kind of fun just to see, like a contract and some photos and stuff. So yeah,
Oh, great.
so bunch of signed photos, nothing to David though, sadly.
Still holding out.
Yeah, still holding out, some Shirley Temple, Mae West. I'm just zooming along, so when you stop, if there's anything that you find interesting.
Me too.
Yeah. Greta Garbo, a lot of, again, early autographs, early letters, all very interesting, not necessarily our stuff, but all very interesting. Some different scripts, very beat up, but very cool. Early Greer Garson, Carol Lombard. Just kind of zooming along here.
Bunch of
Gone
Marilyn
with the
Monroe
Wind,
stuff.
cast sign shooting script. That's pretty cool. Just with a cover.
Yeah.
He's a cameraman.
We'll get to them, but there are a bunch of really cool scripts in this auction, I will say, for script collectors. I'm kind of moving on through to
some costume stuff. I'm sort of some Doris Day, Bob Mackie sketches. Those are very interesting. I don't know the movie. I'm in Judy Garland now. Judy Garland Ephemera, its own category. I will say, if your name is John, a really cool Lot 79 Ray Bolger signed Wizard of Oz photo.
Yeah.
If your name is John, that would be pretty badass, if I may say. Grace Kelly, now a lot of Marilyn Monroe, and this is always, they always have, Julien's is always big on the Marilyn Monroe stuff, and they definitely, the same sort of, a lot of the photos and things that they often do have. I don't know if this is always sort of a continuous batch that they're kind of cycling through, or if people are constantly buying and selling. I don't have a sense of that. But lots of Marilyn Monroe, various photos and whatnot.
Yeah,
Nothing.
go
ahead.
There's a great Some Like It Hot photo, 140, which I just like because I've never seen the photo
You're ahead
before.
of me. Let's see.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's perfect. Personally fine. Let's see.
Which I think is probably at
that's nice. That's very
the
nice.
Coronado.
Yeah,
that is
Hotel definitely
Del.
the Coronado. That is definitely the Coronado. That's a cool
and I just love that hotel. So I mean, I if I was still living in LA, I would just buy that because I love that hotel and it's such a cool shot. She's sitting in whose chair is she sitting in there?
She's sitting in Joey Brown, who plays Osgood. Nobody. The I don't mind. And I think that's Billy Wilder sitting across from her in the back there. On the left.
That is
that's
Billy
Wilder.
There you go. And somebody's in Jack Lemmon's seat next to her.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's Jack Lemmon. It's hard to tell.
It's not. It looks like a lady, actually.
Well, I don't know. That could be padding. Could be Jack Lemmon.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it absolutely could be, which is sort of funny.
That's the whole point of the film, Dave. They're dressed like ladies.
Oh, wait a minute. Spoiler alert. At the old Coronado, but not anymore. We may have talked about this. They used to have a channel where they would play Some Like It Hot, like almost 24 hours a day. Like they had one for that and the Stuntman. You could see the two movies that are very famous for being shot at the Coronado over and over and over and over again. I loved it, and unfortunately they got rid of that, which I think is a mistake.
Copyright problems.
Well, who knows? But just seems like it couldn't be that hard.
Some Marilyn Monroe, Arthur Miller
Yep.
Documentation. If you're into,
I always enjoy when like it's a lot of like
Marilyn
Monroe's like Hebrew prayer book. I always like that kind of stuff. I like claiming her on behalf of the Jewish people. The great tradition of like the ultimate shiksa conversion is Marilyn Monroe. So I like that. Something I actually get that's the
dream.
Goal. That's the goal.
Yeah,
it's just the main goal of our people.
Here's one, Dave. Here's a movie crossover for you. Lot 184, Marilyn Monroe with Eli Wallach.
Very cool.
From The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, in a movie called The Misfits, and it's a set photo of them. Great set photo. But Eli Wallach was the ugly in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
They've got a
Um,
couple which I actually do get a kick out of. They've got a bunch of contact sheets from Let's Make Love, and those are things. And I don't know, these prices.
I've
They're
never seen that
estimating them
movie.
at
Have you?
1 to 2,000. Yeah, they're estimating them at $1 to 2,000. I have no sense of the value, but I have some contact sheets, obviously from Star Wars. I have some from The Godfather as well, and I actually think I have a couple from Some Like It Hot that I actually think I bought in a Julien's auction long past. And
Oh, that's cool.
they're a contact sheet basically is they take sort of all the negatives and they kind of print them all like sort of
The
small.
stills.
Yeah, basically the stills, and sometimes from scenes, and sometimes they can be from behind the scenes, but often from in scenes. And I actually love the way a contact sheet like frames up. I think they frame up really nicely. They're their own little thing. And again, I'm not saying you need there's 20 lots of these things. I'm not saying get all 20, but I'm just saying I do think they're a fun thing to frame up. So I leave it at
Yeah.
that.
I always get them and I get
Okay.
bummed out whenever I hold them because I'm like, I just wish I was holding the negatives
Right.
so that
Well,
I could
you
scan
know
them.
what they are, though. You know what they're
Yeah,
supposed to be.
correct.
Yeah.
It's actually
One
funny.
night. Oh, go ahead.
I managed just a small side story, but I managed to my Batman '89 clapperboard is photo matched thanks to a contact sheet.
See, there you go.
So
Yeah.
a friend was able to high res scan the contact sheet, blow up the photo enough that you got enough detail to match the board, and then I just asked. I actually asked my dad, who's very very has good facility with Photoshop, to remove the grease pencil marking from it, which he did. So now I have like a little photo match photo to go along with it.
Oh, that's
So
excellent.
there you go. Yeah.
I was going to call out 191, which is not a prop per se, but it is the John F. Kennedy birthday program, where obviously Marilyn
Nice.
Monroe
Yeah.
famously sang "Happy Birthday, Mr. President"
That's wild,
at the
actually.
hotel in New York, and it's a signed one of those signed by Marilyn Monroe, which is I don't know,
To David?
pretty cool. Sadly, no, not to David. Probably just to John or to Kathleen again or something like that.
To
Yeah.
Mr. President, very breathily.
Let's see, is there a signature on it? There's a lot of signatures on it. It's hard to see what's going on there, but well, still pretty
By the
darn
way, Dave,
cool. Yeah.
Speaking of many signatures, I really enjoyed that Veep board that you posted.
I'll put
really
that up
cool
on our site. I showed it to Ryan. It's sort of a clapper, but not a clapper. It was sort of this big clapper that was given to me quite. It's one of my absolute favorite things in the world. I guess I should have mentioned it when we did the clapper show, but when it was given to me when Veep ended, actually the evening of after we did our last scene, which was Julia in the Oval, Selena in the Oval. Our last scene was actually the last Julia scene of the show, and after it ended, I said a couple of things and sort of spoke about Julia and the experience and whatnot, and then I was quite taken aback when Julia and the crew presented me with this large clapper that everyone had signed, and it was and they'd been
so
working on it
cool
for a while. Really, really special, and yeah, just a real favorite. I'll put pictures up so that people can see it. It's pretty great. I mean, it's no Blade Runner, but it's pretty great.
It's no new Hellboy pages, but it is.
No, exactly,
awesome.
exactly. I am racing through. There's a lot of Marilyn Monroe here.
There is a lot of Marilyn Monroe, but now I'm down into Elizabeth
Where
Taylor.
are you? Now I'm into a lot of
Ephemera.
Elizabeth Taylor.
213. 213 is actually pretty cool. Just stopping here for a second.
Yep.
It's the assistant director's production ephemera archive, which is all the paperwork, I imagine call sheets. I mean, again, just something the Academy should have. That film is sort of a infamous film in Hollywood history. It's the big budget film that kind of felled 20th Century Fox and the big studio era, as kind of leading to the advent of or not that it led to TV, but it clashed with the advent of TV and kind of led to new Hollywood sort of, and the approach to smaller budget films that were kind of auteur driven with these directors like Coppola and Friedkin and Scorsese and things like that. But anyway, that's really what a cool collection of paperwork
There is a
that is.
hilarious story about Cleopatra, which was told to me actually by Frank Rich, who was a producer on both
Oh yeah.
Veep and on White House Plumbers. Obviously, the famous former New York Times theater critic, and then
Yeah.
columnist and essayist and friend.
I have to
Frank
say,
told,
I
yeah,
met him. You introduced me to
yeah,
Frank at an Emmys party a few years ago, and it was I guess Casey had slipped him House of the Dragon, the
yes,
pilot,
yes.
the head of HBO, just to get his read on it, because I know he's involved with a lot of these the very kind of big important dramas over there, and he didn't know me from anybody, and took the time to tell me how much he enjoyed it and how he thought it was going to make a great series. And I knew who he was, so it was such a great compliment and just blew me away. So anyway, thank you, Frank.
So apparently, because the Cleopatra was this giant thing, they did like a live premiere on television, like it was an actual like on like prime time television, like the live premiere, the coverage. And the production, Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, their romance, the tempestuousness, the budget, like all this insanity. And it's like hosted by whoever. It might have been even like someone like Regis Philbin or somebody of that like that, but I can't remember who he said, so I'm not getting all the details. But somebody trying to do their job, on the red carpet, and they get a hold of like the writer, I think it is, and it's like, so we hear though that after like a long production, we hear though it's pretty great and all things are great. It was one of those kind of questions, and the writer guy just goes, "Who told you that?" On like this just live TV. So yeah, so Cleopatra,
So good.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Something I get a kick out of, not necessarily this movie per se, but 231 is Ursula Andress. It's the 4 for Texas title credit. So this is again one of these like actual title credits, from the beginning of a movie,
In the
probably,
pre-digital era.
Exactly, in the pre-digital era. And these things have popped up sometimes, actors, actresses, titles of films, titles of TV shows. And I always stop and look. Obviously, you want it to be from something you love, and I don't know 4 from Texas, so not a movie for me,
Right.
but I still get a kick out of them. I will just simply
They are very cool,
say,
and
yeah.
I get the sense in the way that these are often presented, as this one is in a shadow box, that this must have been a pretty standard gift that was given sort of after the film was mastered production. You'd have this kind of, I guess, handmade, probably almost animation cell, right, with the person's name on it.
Very much
and
so.
I guess
Very
they would
much
just
a
give it out.
cell, or very often, sometimes all it is the name maybe, and then they just put a color behind it to match what it looked like on screen, but not necessarily giving you the background. I don't know. I find them fascinating. I think they're really,
they
really
are very cool.
Yeah. Natalie Wood, 240, her signed 1972 UK registration booklet. I don't know why, but that's just sort of dark. Robert
I love
Wagner,
this movie.
Hold on, Natalie Wood and Robert Wagner, wedding invitation, 1957. That's wedding number 1. 242.
That's potentially complicated. That collectible. Lot 248. I just love this movie. Peter Bogdanovich's What's Up?
Such a good movie.
What's Up, Doc? And this is Barbara Streisand's personal script from it, which is, I think, very cool.
Her script, and what it mentions in the in the description, it's a 173-page script, which I am very curious about. It indicates, it says it may contain scenes were deleted, which is a very strange sentence. I don't know why they didn't just look through it, but I got to admit, I am very curious about the 173-page draft. I love this movie. This was, I don't know why, a favorite movie of mine. This used to play on the Saturday, the ABC afternoon movie from time to time, and I just grew up loving this movie, and it holds up like nobody's business, even though it's really the kind of movie nobody makes anymore. It
big
builds
studio, big budget screwball comedy,
yeah.
and it's like such a wonderful slice of that time. It feels like you jump in a time machine and go back to San Francisco in the 1970s, and highly
And
recommended.
she's great,
I love
and Ryan O'Neal's great,
Bogdanovich,
but
so yeah,
Madeline Kahn, holy shit, is she good
yeah,
in that
yeah,
too?
very true.
God damn,
Yeah,
yeah. Bunch of gowns, some Cecil B. DeMille stuff. Daryl Zanuck,
the jazz
jazz
singer. Here we
singer.
go.
Yep,
Wow,
266. Again, another piece of a little movie history there.
the first
Very
talkie.
interesting. Yep.
It's Daryl Zanuck's pre-production script, and it's weird. That was a Warner film, so he produced it, I guess.
I don't know why. I don't know why he has one.
Yeah, because Daryl Zanuck was the head of Fox
Maybe Fox didn't exist yet. I don't know. I don't know.
In that era. No, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
271, von Stroheim's Merry Widow script. That's kind of cool. Went on to be Max in Sunset Boulevard, but was actually a director, kind of playing a version of himself
from that era. Yeah, there was a lot of that, and also Buster Keaton's in that movie, right? He makes a little.
Yes, he's one of the Waxworks, one of the card players.
Yeah.
275, another on-screen credit. This was Jack Warner's from Camelot. Again, looks like a gift of some sort.
Don't quote me, because that would be bad, and the story is much better if it's not wrong. But I believe Camelot was Jack's last credit as a producer.
Don't know.
I believe that was the film, his swan song. So which would make that significant. So.
Followed by 276, William Powell's script for Song of the Thin Man, which is one of the later Thin Man movies, but still William Powell, Nick Charles. That is one of the he's the Thin Man. So, technically, I guess the Thin Man in the original is the sort of missing professor, but it is now people think the Thin Man is the detective. But anyway, not the point of the story. By the way, I was just reading about they make there's the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, Netflix. They made like a second mystery movie. I don't know what the first one was called, but there's another one. But apparently his character is Nick, named after Nick of Nick and Nora Charles. And I guess she's Audrey, for Audrey Hepburn in Charades. So sort of apparently salutes to some classic detective movies. 280, it's a Casablanca chair. It's a chair, but it's from Rick's. I mean,
it's from Casablanca.
What are you gonna get from Casablanca? It's not my dream chair. I mean, there's a lot of other chairs. We got to do a chair show, but I mean, fuck, it's Casablanca chair. What else can you say?
The chairs of film history.
The chairs of film history.
Can we talk about 281?
Yes, we can.
Humphrey Bogart signed Short Snorter $1. Is that what I think it is?
I don't think so. But it's apparently signed by him
to
show this supportive troops.
Yeah, it just said.
It says short to show their snorters because they were short because they were going home. The soldiers. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But it is signed by Mayo, who I believe was his sort of boozy wife that he sort of couldn't quite leave for Lauren Bacall. And
right.
I always thought the name Mayo was kind of cool. And if you ever watch any of these, like, they used to make these bad, like, Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall kind of like life story romance movies, not with them, with people playing them. And like, Mayo's driving me crazy. It's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Very sort of interest. What's this? Gypsy title for Mervyn LeRoy, another credit box. That's kind of neat.
289.
Zoom along. 289.
Cary Grant, Gunga Din film stills. I mean, just because that movie has DNA and Raiders of the Lost Ark, I just think that's cool. And Cary Grant, certainly.
Again, we are very much definitely in the classic film section of this, which obviously there's great stuff here. I'm just not, it's not for us. And so we're moving through it with a certain speed, which I think is okay. 323, Ernest Borgnine signed Marty film script. Doesn't say it's his, but Academy Award winner, pretty darn cool. And there's actually a bunch of different signed things. There's a German film poster and a window card and a lobby card. So all pretty cool. And a McHale's Navy script and poster. So if your full Ernest Borgnine collection, instant Ernest Borgnine collection.
Where's the Wild Bunch stuff? 340 and 341.
The famous Ernest Borgnine story, right?
What's that?
The divorce proceedings from Ethel Merman, where she accuses him of the Dutch oven, which is farting in the bed and pulling the covers tight, trapping the fart under the covers. Yes, the Dutch oven. Ernest Borgnine collection, instant collection, all yours.
Yes. As a person of Dutch heritage, I'm always there's nothing good associated with the Dutch. It's like going Dutch means splitting the bill because we were supposed to be a cheap people. And then the Dutch oven. Trying to think of some others, But anyway, I mean, I guess most of those stereotypes tend to be negative, but the Dutch oven's a good one. I mean, I guess the humor value does.
It counts for something.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of starting with 340, 340, and 341. These are 10 Commandments, basically storyboard sketches. And they're just
incredibly
beautiful.
Detailed.
Yeah, incredibly detailed. For a second, the way the description is written, it's like Charlton Heston, 10 Commandments, original Horse and Soldier storyboard sketch. I thought Heston drew them for a second because I actually think he did sketch and then later paint. But that is not, these are not by him. They are by John L. Jensen, who made many storyboards for the production, but they are gorgeous. And obviously, one of the great Bible epics. And there's a couple of them, 343, 344. So there's some really nice, just 10 Commandments pieces. He hosted SNL when I was there, and it was just absolutely fantastic. I think I may have talked to you about. Did I ever tell you I told you the Planet of the Apes thing, where we did a cold opening where he falls asleep, and then the whole show is sort of Saturday Night Live of the apes. Yeah. But we actually also
I remember that episode very clearly. Yeah,
we did a 10 Commandments sketch and basically recreated his costume, his staff, and the 10 Commandments tablets. And I believe my buddy Lou Morton, who wrote it or co-wrote it, kept got the tablets signed and kept those, which I thought was a great
that's great.
Not a prop collector. Oh, go ahead.
Is that where the joke, the 15 10
No, that's History of the World Part 1.
Okay.
Part 1, yeah.
Okay.
I honestly couldn't tell you what the joke was in the sketch. I think it had to do with maybe Rob Schneider was doing was it who's the guy where's your Moses now, Shay? That actor. He was sort of doing him who's playing like one of the Israelites, very crazy bit of casting. And anyway, I don't know. I'm jumping to 350.
Jimmy Cagney.
Brando, Wild One script and call sheets, pretty damn cool.
That's cool.
Pretty
that is
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Truman Capote's birth registration notification, lot 353.
Finally, yep. 381. These pop up from time to time, but these are the catalogs from the MGM auction, the 1970s catalog auctions, followed by 382, which are the big Fox auctions of 71. Little real piece of prop history, prop collecting history. These were the first of the big studio sales that we've spoken about in some of our early shows.
The
foundations of prop collecting.
That MGM auction is where the Ruby Slippers went, and that was that was the famous first time movie studio had sold to the public, and also that was the first appearance of the Ruby Slippers.
384, Gene Siskel's Siskel and Ebert set chair. I thought that was funny and enjoyable. Yeah. Starting with 387, a whole bunch of Black Cauldron animation.
I love that movie.
That's a very good movie. I know. I don't know if I care to buy a lot, but I actually enjoy that movie. Yeah, I get a kick out of it. So yeah. But they're kind of cool.
And this is actually kind of great too. And I'm curious. I'm sure this was after your time. Do you remember Lot 393? Do you remember the 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage?
No, I have no idea what that is. Sorry.
I loved that show. I loved that show.
That's a show.
It was a
okay.
Yeah. It was a series. It was I mean, here's the description. A greedy Wall Street businessman who, targeted by the FBI, escapes to remote island. In order to repent his sins, must team up with a pirate, Blackjack Savage, to save 100 lives. And it was this great adventure show. And it was I remember it being kind of irreverent and just sort of edgy. And it was in that weird Disney period where they were trying to figure out what they were. And anyway, I just remember it very clearly as a kid. And there weren't many. I think it got canceled very quickly. So it sort of came and gone. And in that time, there was no TiVo or anything,
right.
So it was just sort of like
you watched it or you didn't. Yeah, exactly.
It was a memory.
Neat.
And
very cool.
I wonder if that's on Disney Plus. I wonder if I can actually track that down and show it to my kids.
You should look, because I mean, if it's anywhere, that's where it is.
That's where it'd be, right?
Yeah. I just read 394
402.
just because we happened to be sitting here, and I'm not sure I would have normally stopped, but it's an animation studio catalog, a cabinet, and I was like, oh, what is it? But read the description. It turns out it's a cabinet from like the janitorial staff that they used to store plumbing odds and ends, like pipe fittings and whatnot, which it's just a very funny Disney Animation Studios plumbing equipment. I don't know why that makes me laugh.
Perfect.
So, yes, exactly.
Some Cat in the Hat
items here, glorious Dave. Cat in the Hat items.
398 and 399. Yep. And then I love 401 and 402.
401 is incredible. I feel like they're not doing it justice on this mannequin.
No.
It is a Miss Piggy dream sequence swimming costume, followed off by a
from the Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah, an autographed Miss Piggy signed workout record album with also a Piggy cocktail ring. I feel like the swimming costume almost looks like a human thing, and I feel like there's got to be a way of displaying it so it looks more like Miss Piggy. Yes, more Piggy. Yeah, I'm assuming she's the one that wore it. So yeah, I kind of get a kick out of both of those.
They're great. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is actually very cool. 403 is a Kermit the Frog costume sketch from Muppets Take Manhattan, sort of Bafo Sacco, which I don't remember necessarily the part, but hey, it's a Kermit costume drawing from the period, which I think is pretty damn cool. You don't see these things, so pretty great. Walter
Willy Wonka
credit cards.
Cast iron film poster.
Oh, that's very cool. I wonder.
Just showed that to the kids. We just read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, so I showed them the original movie, and they freaking loved it.
They loved it. Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah. They were totally. They were dialed in, and like we ran out of time, and we had to pause it, and they were pissed off, and they asked all day. We actually finished it today. They were asking all day.
They wanted it that badly. Did you read an old copy of the book, or one of the new digital copies where the language has been cleaned up and whatnot?
No. We went. I when that all went down, I immediately bought the hard copy box set of them, and I was like, I'm reading my children the irreverent original Roald Dahl text. I love lot 446 if you haven't gotten there yet.
I do have to stop at 443 because obviously if you ever wanted a Cheech and Chong autographed poster, obviously you always wanted Tom Skerritt's autograph on it. Yeah. Because I don't think of Cheech. He's the and in Cheech and Chong. He really, he's sort of the unofficial third team member. So yeah.
Can I hang it behind my Tom Skerritt alien spacesuit costume, Dave? Do you think that?
I think it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. 446 is badass. Is that what you were calling out?
Yes, yeah.
A can of liquid Schwartz doesn't necessarily look like it's the one that they pour in, but probably from the
production.
From the production.
Yeah,
that is a pretty great all-in-one Spaceballs.
There you go.
Prop.
Yeah, and it's got yogurt right on the can. It's great.
That I will simply tell you right now, I will be at least throwing a little something on that one. That's just too good.
Yeah.
I'll put it with my. I have I think I don't know if we've shown it on the show. I'll show it now. You've seen it. I have from History of the World Part 1 when during the Spanish Inquisition, when Torquemada plays the giant Jewish slot machine, I have one of the Torquemada coins,
which is
that comes
so
out,
good,
which
yeah.
is great. Yeah.
Yeah,
With Mel's picture on it. So this or sort of bust relief on it. So this will be another thing of Mel from a Mel Brooks movie with Mel on it. Will be pretty great. That's that'll be my collection. I like that.
463.
463. Sorry, I'm going slow. Oh, 463. Oh, very cool. Yeah, sorry, just to comment on this, it looks like we've hit a section. I'm assuming these were put in by Chris Farley's family, because there's a lot
his
of
brother. Yeah, it looks like,
okay. This is a lot of Chris stuff.
Farley ephemera.
Yeah, exactly. And this is his 6'3" is his Tommy Boy film script.
His script, though, which I think is really cool.
Very,
God,
very
I
cool.
love that movie, and just that was such a. I mean, I saw that for the first time when I was 15. It was like the perfect time, and just loved Farley. And one of my favorite Dave Mandel moments was that crazy YouTube video that you dug out a couple of years ago of him actually calling you out by name on stage at SNL.
On Conan, yes.
Was that on Conan? Okay,
it was on Conan. Yeah, no, I took Chris in the later years of SNL when I was there, which would have been 94, when Newt Gingrich passed the contract with America. Chris became our Newt Gingrich. And we were invited down to Washington. I took him down there and wrote some stuff for a breakfast that he attended, where he came out as Newt Gingrich in front of the Republican caucus. This was at a time when, look, I not that I was a big fan of Newt Gingrich, but at a time when the differences between Democrats and Republicans didn't quite seem as Civil War-esque, or maybe they were, and I didn't quite realize it.
It could be humorous, and
it could occasionally be humorous.
Could laugh at them. Laugh at themselves.
Yes, exactly, without accusations of ruining the Constitution. So anyway, yes, very, very fun. But anyway, a nice bunch of stuff of Chris's, which I think is actually pretty cool. For whatever reason, really cool. There's a green necktie, and I always used he had this green jacket that he had pulled out of like the SNL wardrobe that I think was a Belushi jacket that he always wore. And for some reason, I always associate this 476, the green tie. I always associate this weird kind of color green with Chris, because I remember him wearing that jacket. It's just a weird memory.
I've been listening to that. It's very good if you guys are looking for more podcasts to listen to in addition to ours. But the Fly on the Wall podcast, which is Dana Carvey,
Dana and David Spade. Yeah.
Telling stories from the SNL days, and they bring in old people that guest hosted and music acts, and of course, crew and writers and things from the show. You should go on that, Dave. Have they phoned you up yet?
They have not. Funny enough,
you should be on. I mean, I'm sure you could tell great stories, and you definitely crossed over with both of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to be the guy calling up saying, "Can I be on your podcast?"
Yeah.
Yes,
I
but
know. Well, maybe I'll call them up and say you should have David
and pretend
Mandel
to be me. Yes. Let's start a massive email campaign. Wouldn't it be funny if I knew their email? If I was like, it's flyonthewall@gmail.com.
Fly on the Wall podcast at gmail.com. But they told stories about Chris Farley and how he liked to dress, because he was Belushi was his idol, and he liked to go find old Belushi wardrobe and then dress up in it, because he was like, I don't know, imbuing him with the Belushi essence. So that was your story about the jacket. Was
the green jacket was something that I think
way.
He just took for his own wardrobe, or they let him have, and he he sort of just squeezed his way into it. But I remember this green jacket, so that's, like I said, that's my memory of it. 488. I always like this movie, Ghost World. This is a Thora Birch Enid dress. Again, not a wardrobe person, but very evocative of that movie, which I get a kick out of. And 489 is
Thora Birch, Dave, co-star of season 1 of Colony.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes, absolutely. 489, a real, I was about to call it a guilty pleasure, but I feel like that insults the movie somehow. Like, I'm not sure I want to be a guilty pleasure. Like, if people say like Eurotrip's a guilty pleasure, I just fucking like it. Josie and the Pussycats. I think they made the mistake at the time thinking everyone remembers Josie and the Pussycats and is dying to see a Josie and the Pussycats like live action movie. I don't think that was the case. That being said, I think it's really funny. It has a really funny take on pop culture and certainly pop culture of the time. And it is a kick-ass soundtrack that I actually still listen to till today, with a bunch of songs written by Jane Weidlin of the Go-Go's. And it is great. And this is like some of the props that the headset that plays into the whole movie, where they're going to take over people's minds. There's a whole like evil genius plot. Anyway, very cool, I think. And then talking of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, this is pretty neat. 490, a Tavoleris boat concept sketch from the movie. And actually, this is actually a very fascinating, interesting time, which I wasn't planning on, but since we're doing it, this just showed up. Have you seen this? Sorry if I went off mic a second. This is, can you see that? Have you seen this? This is this new book, and it is basically it's called Conversations avec, which is with Dean Tavoleris, by Jordan Mitzner, with a foreword by Wes Anderson. It is, just on the cover, you can see The Godfather, Warren Beatty, Apocalypse Now, Walt Disney, Francis Ford Coppola, The Conversations, Zabriskie Point. I mean, it's just a combination of his work, pictures of all his art and stuff. This is fantastic. It is from what's SYNECDOCHE? How do you pronounce that? Synecdoche, yeah, publishing, I guess. They found it online, just came out, I think, pretty recently. This is incredible.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I haven't opened it yet, but I know what it looks like from online. So huge fan, and a huge shout out there. So wherever that fits in.
So Propstore is amazing. Los Angeles poster online auction that we teased earlier this season when Gray Smith was our guest has just launched. Propstore's LA poster auction runs now through May 17th and 18th. It's a month-long auction, so it's an online-only auction, so no auctioneer. So there is some timing concern, but you don't have to wait for somebody to call you and then panic all at once. So it's nice because you get to actually put in your bid, track it over a month, and do your best to win. This auction features over 1,000 rare posters across film, music, travel, and more. Go online at propstore.com to view the entire catalog to bid. But we have some highlights.
We got some pretty cool highlights. Gray really outdid himself. A 1931 U.S. one-sheet on linen for the Best Picture winning Cimarron. Am I saying that correctly? Cimarron?
Yeah.
One of only 4 known copies to exist. A must for any vintage poster collection with a love of Westerns. Estimate $50,000 to $100,000 U.S. cash. But I feel like if you are one of the producers or stars of Yellowstone, you need to have that poster. I feel like that,
there you go.
I would get that. I would put that up all over the place if I was like the producer of Yellowstone. I would spend money like crazy on that. So yeah. What else?
Then there's one of 2 known copies of Fritz Lang's 1931 M. That's awesome. That's incredible.
That's so cool.
An unrestored folded pre-war German country of origin poster. We talked a bit about country of origin, how important that is to collectors. That one's estimated at $40,000 to $80,000. That's awesome, and that's actually a great poster. The poster is.
It's also. Have you ever watched the movie ever with Peter Lorre?
Guilty of it. I've never seen it. No.
It is. I mean, it's. On the one hand, obviously very, very an old movie, 1931, but it's chilling, and his performance is chilling in it about a murderer, M for murderer. The posters are gorgeous.
Stevie, you idiot.
Just Reek, I'm a murderer. Hide me. Different Peter Lorre, but gorgeous poster. One of the most sought after posters within collecting. A first post-war release French grande for the 1946 release of the Maltese Falcon. Literally, the stuff dreams are made of.
Yeah.
Estimate $20,000 to $40,000. That is fantastic. That's incredible.
I think we should use our Dave 10 Ryan 10 code and invest in that for the future podcast studio offices of the show.
I don't
Dave,
think that works. I think you can't use that in these auctions. I think it only. I want to be really clear.
I think we should have like a God code that we get to use when we buy. And
God
then
10. God 10. Just put that in.
God 10. One of the God 11, I think. One of the rarest Star Wars posters in the whole Star Wars run from Return of the Jedi, US style B 6 sheet. So the B style 6 sheet on linen. That's cool. I'm trying to picture that image. I need to go look that one up.
We talked a little bit about 6 sheets and some of those big ones. I mean, they're incredible.
I freaking love them. Yeah,
$10,000 to $20,000. That is, I mean, you do not see those every day. 6 sheet. That's pretty incredible. Wow. There's also, I know there's like there's a couple of pieces of like poster art in there as well. I think I'm told. So
cool.
I'm just really excited to get my hands.
Looking forward to the catalog.
I was just asking the other day when we get it because I'm dying to just see it.
I have like 20 lots myself in the auction. We sold our house this summer in LA, and I cleaned out my.
Oh, you gave them all those posters. Oh, okay. Is this like your Mondo stuff or what? Or just different things?
Mondo stuff. It's Mondo. Some prints and some other things. I think one real poster may be in there, but mostly Mondos and just the best stuff that I had because I had sold off so much stuff. So it was all these rare, variants and early run things before they were really a big company. And then a bunch of those private commissions that people did like 25 of. And there's really good stuff in there. Lord of the Rings, Apocalypse Now, Blade Runner, a couple Blade Runner things, you name it. It's in there. There's a great Citizen Kane poster done by this Mad Duck poster company that's in there. It looks all like torn newspaper prints. Really, really cool. So look it up and bid early and often, and help pay down my buying of the Return of the Jedi 6 sheet.
Yeah. Wow. The auction will end over 2 days, May 17th and the 18th. So please note the dates when lots will be ending. Printed catalogs are also for sale in the Buy Now section of Propstore. When you're ordering your poster catalog at propstore.com, check out all the different things you can purchase in Propstore's Buy Now section. I don't know if you can use the code on the catalog. You can use your Dave 10 or Ryan 10 discount code to get 10% your Buy It Now auction. Vote for your favorite podcast host at the same time as Ryan. Please note, 10% will apply. Will apply to the catalog and everything else you order, so load up in your cart. So you go on, buy a catalog, use your Dave 10, and then buy a $70 million item and use your Ryan 10 for some like vampire teeth that are $70 million. And I hope
Dave,
you choke
just choke. There's an Anthony Daniels 3PO helmet on the Buy Now right now.
For $2 million. Use my code. So that way you can support the Stuff Dreams Are Made Of. And one of these days we're supposed to pull things from our own that we're giving away too. Wasn't that part of the contest?
Yeah, we do have to figure that out.
Yeah, we got to figure out what we're giving. I got some crap I want to get rid of. So yeah, some garbage,
Stay
garbage.
tuned.
So yeah, poster auction. I'm going to be bidding. I don't know on what yet, but I'm buying something. That's a promise.
I'll be there. Yeah, for sure.
492 Jack Black Tropic Thunder Army Jacket. I enjoy that film. Yeah, pretty cool. Bewitched Brown Scripts 496.
I'm zooming.
You're zooming. Carol Burnett. Yeah. Keep going. I know we swore this would be an hour, but we're closing in almost on the hour, so let's keep going. I'm going to go faster. Green Hornet photo. Laverne and Shirley, Cindy Williams bowling shirt, though, 512 with the Shots Brewery on it. That's fantastic. I unfortunately wouldn't fit in it, but I would buy that and just wear it if I could. Larry Hagman signed J.R. Ewing beer, 515. That's pretty wonderful. I will say 516, Robin 3 license plate from Magnum PI. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Robin Masters, who may or may not have been Higgins. I think I'd stopped watching by then, but he may have been Higgins. Some Joan Collins Dynasty scripts, 524 Miami Vice script, very fun. Some Betty White stuff. I'm moving. This is
I'm at
interesting. I'm just going to call it
567.
out. Oh, I was going to 538 really quickly. This
Okay.
is a Curb Your Enthusiasm Larry David Project pre-production booklet. So this is, I guess,
Oh, I zoomed
something
right past
from
that.
the early days of Curb, before I was even certainly ever involved with it, which I just thought was really
Huh.
interesting. I don't know the collectibleness of it, but I thought it was interesting. Bunch of
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek stuff I know people like a lot.
Yep.
Where Are You Stopping? A bunch of Breaking Bad
Oh,
stuff, which is always interesting.
567. Yeah,
Okay,
there's
I'm moving.
Breaking Bad and Saul and
Ozark.
Ozark, but there's been a bunch of
Yep.
those auctions
Yep.
recently. I mean, this is pretty great. Screen Match
Yes,
and
this
Photo
is pretty
Match Saturday
incredible.
Night
Yes.
Fever suit, with signed photos, lobby cards, press kit, album, and DVD. So that's
Is
very
this
cool.
the one that wasn't it? Speaking of Siskel and Ebert, that Siskel or Ebert like had bought and owned for years in auction. Do you know what? Do you remember that
Oh
story?
wow.
I wonder if this is
Looking
it.
at
I don't. I'm trying to go through the description very quickly. Yes. Oh, wait. Do you see that? Wait, hold on. I'm going wider. Two suits were utilized during the production. One suit used solely for the film marketing. The two existing white suits, boutique,
Gene
were
Siskel.
purposely. Yep, the third white suit, which has become known as is still bearing the leading. So there you go. Was not used on screen. So I guess this is. So this is that one, I guess. So this was used for the marketing, not the on-screen, I believe, if I'm understanding the description correctly, because it has the label in it. But still, really fucking cool. There it is. Talk about just iconic, just absolutely iconic. It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. I skipped over Martin Sheen's watch. Skipping over First Night. Yep, watches. I like 591, 590, Man in the Iron Mask, the Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich. I always really like that, but the hat's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
596, Seabiscuit newspaper collection, enjoyable. La La Land, Bohemian Rhapsody, Rami Malek, 604. That's a very Freddie Mercury outfit. There's no other way of describing that.
Yes, indeed. Possible Silver Surfer stand-in.
622, Mia Farrow signed Rosemary's Baby film poster. Again, I'm not always on the autograph film posters, but that's a darn good one.
That's a cool one, yeah. Bunch of posters here.
Bunch of interesting, a lot of horror posters. It looks like.
Yeah,
I wonder if this is very specifically someone's collection, is what it seems like. Some autographs, some not, but very, very horror-y, including two of the greats, Ilse She-Wolf of the SS, 639, and 640, Ilse Harem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks.
Those are two of my Ilse favorites, so that person had great taste.
Most people prefer She-Wolf of the SS, but I'm a fan of Harem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks. I think it has better story. This is a very large collection of horror movies and various things.
670, a signed John Carpenter The Thing poster, which is very cool.
Very cool. I'm jumping back a couple. 661, American Werewolf in London, signed by Landis and David Naughton. Big fan of that film.
Here we go. Pass the posters down at 689.
All right,
some Bond casino chips.
Oh, yes, there we go.
From Dr. No, and then there's a bunch of Bond lots here.
Yeah, these again, we've seen these in other auctions. These various Dr. No plaques and whatnot. They're all obviously big casino scene, lots of things being used. I mean, I think it's a really fun little interesting way of. There's some License to Kill poker chips, 696.
Yeah.
There's Casino Royale placard, 698. To me, these are a great way into Bond collecting. Just be very fun. Skyfall, Macau, Casino Token, 702.
Yeah.
I love all of these. These are things that I think about bidding on all the time and never quite do, and always just wish I grabbed one. Like I like Skyfall. It would be fun to have 704 that says, the floating dragon on it. I don't care that it wasn't featured in, Daniel Craig's hand. It would just be kind of a neat, little memento of these kind of casino things. Yeah.
If you want something that was featured in Daniel Craig's hand, lot 700, the his Walter PPK pistol from
Yes.
Skyfall, and it's a stunt one. But remember, Skyfall had the special grip on it that read his fingerprints.
Right.
So this actually has that, because this isn't just an off the
Right.
shelf.
It's not
PPK,
just a stunt. There are probably other like stunt PPKs from other movies and whatnot, but don't have the thicker grip. This was made special for this, which is kind of extra cool. And you
which speaks to that movie.
Oh, yeah, and it's a key moment in that movie. And you compare it with 706, which is a stunt Spectre suit, which is pretty cool as well.
That is cool.
By the way, did you read, I think it's today, Sunday's New York Times, Sunday, April 2nd, about this crazy high-end, expensive, like James Bond tour that you can pay for? Isn't that cool? And you get to like go to all these places, and
it's super cool.
You know, driven around in an Aston Martin. Pretty neat. I think it's like, if I was like you know, as soon as I divorce my wife and I'm like a 57-year-old divorced dad, that seems like the perfect thing to do with my money.
Yeah.
I'm
stopping. Get tortured by Le Chiffre.
Yes, one of the exactly. I'm stopping at 719. This is an Edith Head. It's
not 716, Dave. You just blew right past it.
I did. It's Pacino and Duvall. It's good, but you know, it's like I'm never gonna get Jimmy Caan on it. And then how do I get? Never gonna have Brando on it, and then I got to get Coppola on it. It's more trouble than it's worth. Yeah. That's one of those things where I just need like an immaculate one that with, you know, good sourcing that just has everybody on it, and I will pay whatever to get, you know, I need Brando, I need Coppola, I just need everybody and just be done with it. I just can't. So I'm stopping at 719. This is an Edith Head costume design from The Sting, from Robert Shaw, what's his name? Lonigan, the bad guy, if you will. So Lonergan. Good in this movie.
He gets
Doyle Lonigan, right?
Yeah. But he gets
Lonigan.
his name wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did you come from, Kelly?
And I think this is like his like breakfast jacket. I think when he goes over to the hotel the next day, and sort of that's where they kind of hook him in. That's the hook or whatever. But just fantastic, just gorgeous. Edith Head, just very memorable, like little sort of the way he sees himself, because he doesn't see himself as a common thug and sort of dresses the part. So I thought that was pretty neat. More autograph stuff. I do like the Scarface Pacino poster. It was pretty fun.
The 730s, if you're there.
I'm going to stop 728. Pritzi's Honor is a movie people I think forget about, and there's a line script and production
you can't
ephemera.
See it.
Is it
nowhere.
lost? I didn't. Is that why? Oh, interesting. I think that's a great
DVD. There's
John
no
Huston
Blu-ray
movie. Kathleen Turner, who, by the way, is in White House Plumbers, and Jack Nicholson. Really, really.
There's
cool.
no digital thing to be rented off the store, and there's no Bluray. It's
fascinating.
DVD only.
I did not realize that. I wonder what the rights issue is there.
Yeah.
Did you say 7:30? Is that where you're stopping here?
Goonies I was just doing this Goonies run here. Coins and treasure from. I don't think it's more set deck stuff, but
more background stuff, but still very, very cool.
Yeah.
I'm okay with all of that. I liked 738 a lot. This is Elliot Ness's business card and identification card. I gotta rewatch the movie. I don't necessarily remember those, but if they're in there, this is interesting to me. I just kind of get a kick out of that idea. I'm stopping at 739 a minute just because,
and 740, Dave.
Yeah, that too. But did you watch the interview with Dick Tracy? Did you watch that thing? Did we talk about this on the? We didn't talk about it on the show.
Well, I don't think we did, but I did see it, and I know where you're going.
For those that don't know, Warren Beatty has this contract for the rights to Dick Tracy, which he made a movie out of, where basically, and I guess at some point he was trying to do a sequel that never happened, but he basically has this contract that basically says he has the rights in perpetuity, I guess, as long as every X couple of years he continues to make something. And so it's like every 10 years, he does an interview, these crazy interviews where he plays Dick Tracy and gets interviewed once by was it Rex Reed or someone like that? I don't even remember now. It was Leonard Maltin. Leonard Maltin interviewed him the first time. And then the second time it was Leonard Maltin and what's his name's son, I think on the TCM channel. And they interview Beatty as Dick Tracy. and Tracy hates Warren Beatty, and it's like an hour of madness just shot like on Zoom or with like video cameras, and they put it on TCM in the middle of the night, but you can find it on YouTube, and it is glorious insanity, and Beatty keeps the rights to it. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I've watched both of them. I highly recommend you go to YouTube. This is pretty cool. The trench coat and the communicator watch.
Yeah. Not 739, 740.
And Mumbles, by the way, 741. The Mumbles, the Mumbles. Dustin Hoffman is Mumbles.
Big Boy did it.
I have a soft spot in my heart for the film. But I have a very soft spot in my heart for the two crazy 1 hour specials. Yeah. The 2 1 hour specials are like, honestly, like they're insane. Like you could use them in a like a hearing to lock him away. They're pretty incredible. So yeah, check them out. Check it all out and bid. I'm stopping at 747. John Travolta, Vincent Vega suit from Pulp Fiction. That is excellent. That's really great. Really cool. Yeah. A couple of other Pulp Fiction things. The Wolf license plate, 748. Yeah. The cardiac adrenaline tray, from that they revive Mia with at Eric Stoltz's place, 749. 750 Red Apple cigarette boxes. I mean, that is all. That's all just fantastic. It would be really fun to have something. Yeah.
Dave, 752 for Superfan.
For our
Stefan.
Superfan, yes. This is his other dream project.
Lax action hero Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jack Slater belt and buckle with DVD.
Marksmanship Slater. So there you go. Yeah. There you go. Let's see what else we got here.
Your Chain Reaction collection.
A Mission Impossible production use slate. It's from the second unit. Eric Schwab. I'm trying to remember, is Eric Schwab, because this is Brian De Palma was the director. Is Eric Schwab the guy that also did second unit for Bonfire of the Vanities, that did the very cool, remember in the making of that has that in the story of the Concorde landing, and he timed it, and it's that
perfect magic hour
that perfect shot, and bet De Palma that De Palma was like, I'm not going to put a shot of a plane landing, and he out De Palma, and it's this incredible shot, and they go into crazy detail in both the book and the podcast about it. I do believe that's
I think you're right.
I think that's his name. Now I feel like an idiot if it's not, but kudos to Eric Schwab, and that's why I think that's great. Yes.
Be better if it was the Bonfire of the Vanities one, right?
I know from that shot, but still pretty cool. 757, the virus stuff from
VX gas.
Yep, from The Rock. 758, Harrison Ford, President James Marshall costume from Air Force One. I think that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah. 763.
I had a sketch idea that I never did. I don't know if you remember in that movie, Air Force One, they kind of kept going out of their way, like in the cabinet meetings where they would go, can I remind you, they would can I remind you that this president was a Green Beret? And then that's how they would justify the shooting. And then I would be like, and can I remind you that this president knows how to took flying lessons for years. And then they would justify that that's how he was flying the plane. And I wrote an SNL sketch. Harrison Ford was not the host, and it was somebody that seemed presidential, but I wrote a sketch once where it was just like a lot of, pipe laying in these scenes where it was like, can I remind you that the president happens to be a world-class omelet chef? And then it would be shots of him making, that was the joke, and it never got on. But anyway, I like the sketch, but that's what I remember of that movie. 760, go ahead.
On the Fly on the Wall, they always say, oh, that one peaked at rehearsal.
I'm not even sure it made it. I don't even think it peaked at the table read. Yes, I don't think it peaked at table read, but I could tell that story on Fly on the Wall if people wrote Fly on the Wall.
Yeah, they would like that.
760, the Face Off, the magnetic boots, which I feel like I've seen these many, many, many times. I still love them every time they show themselves. That movie is wonderful, just wonderful.
763.
Oh, that's exactly where I was going too. I love Ronin. I'm not sure I care about Jonathan Pryce's Seamus O'Rourke trench coat,
but I do remember
but I still love Ronin. I do remember it as well, but I do love that movie. I really do enjoy it. So
What color is the boathouse at Hereford?
There is no. Yeah.
Yeah. How the fuck should I know? Inglorious Bastards, some
Yep,
production
some
ephemera.
dog tags. That's kind of neat. And continuity binders, 771, 772. Let's see
Some Wick
here.
stuff.
Some John Wick, a
car.
costume. That's pretty nice. I don't like the mannequin. The head looks really weird.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go see John Wick 4 today. That is my goal for
I'm going to see it this week.
being back here in the United States. Well, I guess I was in the States. Being back on the mainland, I apologize.
The
to
mainland.
Hawaii. Yes, being back, I want to see that movie very, very badly. Let's see. These, I feel like, were part of a lot that has shown themselves previously. 787. These are Angel of Death concept sketches.
I feel like I have seen them before.
Other ones of those pencils have shown themselves.
They're very cool, though.
Yeah, 788 is Raiders concept advertising art. I've had things like this. I don't know if the middle one is actual original art or not, or just a just a paste up. But
I think it looks like original. I think it's. I mean, the price would indicate that it's original art.
I think the third is a print of. Oh yeah, no. Let's see. Stone tablet. It's hard to say. I think it's a print. It's all prints. It's just unused concept designs. Well, they're all prints. It's a little pricey for my taste, but still very interesting. Sort of what could have been, and then 789 and 790. Oh, 791 as well. Thuggy, and then Nazi costumes from Last Crusade.
All the bad guys.
Yeah, all the bad guys. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. 789. I mean, the price is pretty aggressive, but it's the rope bridge machete, which I guess was different than the other machetes that he was carrying around. It was made specifically for that gag.
Oh, for the cutting of the
yeah.
Okay. I was like, why is this one so expensive? Yeah. Oh, this is David Oliver's. It looks like. Well, I don't know who has it now, but it says it was originally from David Oliver of Prop Masters. I'm not saying it's his. I'm just saying it.
This is the longer blade version made for
Yeah.
distant shots used in the rope bridge scene, enabling the sword to be viewed clearly, but matches intrinsically in construction to its foreground partner. There you go.
Pretty cool.
It feels like an aggressive price.
See, it feels like an aggressive price. So the starting bid is not terrible. I don't know what that means, and it's already at 35,000. So obviously, it is pretty cool. I mean,
I don't know if the estimate is the reserve in this case, but
792, very neat. You don't often see things from Escape from New York. Cigarette pack. That's kind of just interesting and fun and cool. A movie I obviously like a lot. They've got a Pliskin costume from Escape from L.A. Fun in its own way, but not necessarily as enjoyable. 796 and 97 are some Tron Codoliths, which is pretty neat.
799.
Yep. Are you interested in a hand to go with your jacket? You can just stick it out of the jacket
just out
sleeve.
of one end of it.
Yeah, just one.
It's a Arnold Schwarzenegger prosthetic hand prop. Apparently, from when he's dragged under the truck. I was wondering if it was the one when he punches through the windshield, because that was a very special rig actually built and integrated into the jacket. Not my jacket, but another
one,
model of it. So that would have been interesting. Some other T2 Rise of the Machines stuff.
Yeah,
Dark
I hate
Fate.
to say it. I kind of skip over these later Terminators. That's somewhat meaningless to me. I'm sorry.
All fine.
Yeah. 809 RoboCop script signed by Peter Weller and Nancy Allen is very
cool.
fun. Yep. And then lo and behold, 810. I'm not sure we've ever seen one of these before in an auction. This is a Back to the Future hoverboard prop. I think the first one ever to market.
That's amazing.
No, obviously,
many of the one, Dave.
Many of these, I will say, this looks like a nice one. I will say that. I am always curious. These things there have been so many of them, and we have seen some crazy numbers and then followed by not crazy numbers, but then oddly followed by crazy numbers. And I'm not sure I ever have any idea where these things are going to go. But always fun to see. Yeah. Always fun to see. I think for longtime listeners, great props, terrible movie, but great props. 811 is pretty neat. Those are blueprints for the flux capacitor from the olden days. I always get a kick out of this just because I like the hard science behind the nonsense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Plus, you get a little drawing of the flux capacitor behind,
Yeah.
next to all the next to
And a
all
little
the circuitry
insert
and
of it.
whatnot. Yes. So I don't know. I always sort of think it's pretty fun. I always like that buried in the gold mine, I guess, which is just enjoyable. Um,
Oh, here's all the Elysium and Divergent and Allegiant and spectral stuff you can take.
yep, I'm zipping along.
832, a Lasso of Truth from the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman series.
I'm going to back up for a second, if we may. And I know it's not a first unit; it's the model unit. But 829 Superman production use clapperboard, not obviously not Donner, not the first unit, but I don't know. That's just pretty neat, I will say. Just again, something from that original Chris Reeve Superman. That's something I'll be marking, for me at least.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Again, maybe not the dream one, but I don't know. Fun to have one. Fun to have something from it, and certainly estimate wise, obviously not a bank breaker. So again, something I'll be marking, but I do think it's cool, and I actually kind of dig the M for the model unit, that it's trying to distinguish itself. It's not pretending to be something it's not. I guess somewhere in there is an answer. I am very curious about 833. I was just looking at it. It is all scuffed up. This apparently came from William Dozier. I'll be doing some research on this, obviously. This is the Batcave bust from the old Batman TV series, which I love. They said they could not screen match this one, and they're not 100% sure, and several were made. I'll be probably trying to do a little research as well. Obviously, it's also possible, that he had one that was made for himself, but it did come originally from producer William Dozier. I'm curious, and I will be following up, I will simply say, and I'll leave it at that. But certainly
that's very cool. I mean, that would be like the prop from that show. I think
that would be
like
up
a Batman
there.
thing.
Very, very fun. Some storyboards, 835 and 836. Catwoman storyboards and some other storyboards from Batman Returns.
Yep, those are
kind
always
of neat
very
looking,
cool.
Very fun. Yep.
843,
we've seen.
It begins Batman cowl.
Oh,
which is cool. I like that design a lot.
Yeah. Is this do we know? Is this, I'm looking at the description. It says as worn. As worn. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. You don't see this every day. That's pretty cool. Couple of the batarangs. Those have been around, obviously.
Yeah.
This is always interesting. 846, 847, these are different Joker guns. They're all interesting. I don't know. It's not quite what I want from the Joker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not killing me, but beggars may not be able to be choosers, as the case may be. 850, Batman versus Superman. Not for me.
Hero
Martha. Her name's Martha, too. They're both named Martha. That's my impression of that movie. What do you think?
I think it's pretty spot
on. Suicide Squad crew gift robe. That's excellent.
Yep.
I'm sort of skipping over the X-Men stuff. I'm just bored.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Claws.
This is interesting. I'm stopping now. I'm in the Iron Man area. Some interesting things. 863 is a prototype helmet,
Mark III,
but they've
helmet.
got some other signed things. They've got a Captain America shield from 868 is a cap shield, and a Civil War mask from 869, an Iron Man.
That looks like a worn one.
That looks like a worn one, exactly.
And a used glove,
And a 872 Don Cheadle War Machine one, which is very cool looking. The black and silver one, some 874 Thor Dark World, Thor and Malekith battle storyboards. Ben Affleck, Daredevil, Ron Perlman, Hellboy Samaritan 876. You know, I always stare at that, as you know. I always stare at it.
Yeah.
Very fun. They're making another Hellboy movie. I was shocked. Good luck to
Yep.
everybody. I hope it's great. I don't know what else to say. I think
Does
Mike
well.
Mignola is co-writing this one, which I think is
that's
great.
cool.
I'm very happy for him, if I'm allowed to say that.
You are.
Okay, good. Lost in Space. Some cool old original Star Trek episode scripts. Those are neat. That's something
cool.
you don't. That's something you don't see often. So that's pretty neat. Some Gene Roddenberry correspondence. I wonder if this is all stuff from those early Star Trek options. Matt Jeffries signed Bird of Prey spaceship design.
I wonder.
You know, those early the old whatchamacallit,
It's a wrap?
profiles. Right? No, I think they were profiles
okay.
auctions. Yeah, they were the early.
Oh, for the original series.
Yeah, from the original series, all this stuff, Star Trek model kit correspondence. I mean, this is pretty neat to have a Gene Roddenberry. Look at that, a shot list, 901, 900 merchandising correspondence. I just think that's all pretty cool. I do have to say, I just love all of that. All right, I'm hitting Star Wars now. I'm in 913. Yep. 914 is the Duros head casting on the spacesuit. I feel like this has bounced around a bit, but
yes,
you know, it's one of those spacesuits that the type was used. This may or may not have been used. It is what it is. I'm not, you know, it is technically possibly Star Wars. Take it as you will. I don't know what else to say. 6-sheet poster is pretty nice. 915. If you've ever been looking for one of those, I do think it's it's big. It's 916 Anthony Daniels C-3PO hand. That looks pretty cool. Ewok Spears 917. This one is cool. Sorry, I'm on 918. These are Scout Trooper gloves. So something you don't see those often enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, once in a blue moon we've seen a helmet. Never seen any of the armor, but gloves. And I'm guessing an easier thing to walk off with from the production is gloves, probably,
very
than helmet or armor. So I'll probably keep an eye on that. And then a bunch of other Star Wars stuff that I'm just going to ignore. I just don't care. Going past it all.
2010.
2010, again, not my dream movie, but 938, the Discovery model. I mean, that's a filming model, and it's obviously, again, 2010, not 2001. But I don't know. It's like, you know, Beverly Hills post office, kind of, you know, post office adjacent. I don't know. It's still pretty cool-ish, maybe. No?
Yeah. It's a good zip code.
All right. 941, the Ellen Ripley hatchet prop. That's bounced around, right? Haven't we seen that before?
I don't know if it's that one, but I've seen that.
I am a big fan of what's starting with 942 and 943, these are designs and drawings for the creation of the xenomorph from Alien, and also, I guess, how the interior mouth
the
work,
mechanics
the double mouth.
And I think I'm guessing this is from the Rambaldi side of things and not the Giger side.
Yes, which makes sense because they had the Rambaldi ET stuff in their previous auction, so that makes a tremendous amount of sense. But I gotta say, I love 945 is this sort of sample version. It's just a test, a mechanical test. But I do love what it says about everything there. It's just really, really cool. Yeah. And the drawings that go with it, I think they're just fascinating. I really, really do. I'd be curious. I don't know. There's some wonderful drawings, too, if you look down at 951.
Yeah, 951.
And a few others. I'd be curious to know how close was this to working? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this the basis for where they got to, or did it go in a different direction? I'm not familiar enough with the actual working one, but if it's close-ish, it's pretty cool, I think. I also really do like the drawings. It's all
part of the process, right? That leads to the final result.
I love the way 943 looks, where you kind of get to see what the guy's head looks like and the sight lines and stuff inside. I just love the practicality of that drawing. It's just really cool. some Ron Cobb alien
Yeah, this is
drawings
very
of
cool.
the inside, the bridge of the Nostromo,
And the
the mess
Nostromo, if you keep going.
area, the spaceship infirmary, a whole bunch of things. Some great 960 has some really cool, the sleeping pods. I mean, this
Yeah,
is, boy, there's a bunch of these. Ron Cobb exterior, look at 963 is really cool. There's 4 in
that's
that
really
one.
cool. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
boy, these, I mean,
yeah. I'm gonna
this
need to
is this yeah
go
this
after
is worth
something here.
coming back and looking at. Look at 967, an exterior Nostromo.
Yeah,
These are
eight nine
great.
sixty eight, nine
Whoa,
sixty
there's a
nine.
lot of these.
Yeah, yeah. This is really cool.
Well, that's good. Maybe there's a way of even getting one of these when there's this many at least.
Yeah,
Ron Cobb, just another one of these guys. I also think of him like Joe Johnston too, that can that bridges the world between like the working sort of nature of things, but also beautiful art unto
yes,
itself. But so practical too. And also like Macquarie, everything has a reason, like
yeah,
even when there's a reason for it in the drawing, even if it's a made up space reason, which
yeah.
I love. Um,
Made up space
but
reasons.
I love a couple of I like the sleeping pod is particularly cool. I like the airlock, but I do love one of these Nostromo
The ships.
exterior designs. Is pretty
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
yeah.
pretty damn cool. A little piece of Ron Cobb history would be very nice. A xenomorph display head owned by Michael Jackson. Is that really something we care about? Like, does that make it better?
It's very specific.
That is true. That is true. Like, it's from him, but it doesn't really say where he got it, which sort of feels like, isn't that what you'd want to know? Like, was this made by production for him? Like,
Yeah,
what is the origins of it before it got to the Michael Jackson does not seem as important.
yeah, but Michael Jackson owned it.
No, I know. By the way, 975 for your Tom Skerritt collection, a signed Japanese poster to go with your
There
Cheech
you
and
go.
Chong. Yeah, so that's nice.
Yeah, I prefer
Uh,
to have the Cheech and Chong one behind my suit.
what is 976? Is that where you were going next?
Yeah, yeah. Just it's a stunt set of they're saying Ellen Ripley. I don't know. Are they saying it's matched? So it's a stunt pulse rifle and stunt incinerator unit. Um,
Yeah,
they're
it's
saying Ellen
definitely.
Ripley, but they're not saying that it's photo matched to her because obviously there were a bunch of these around.
Yeah, they're just saying she's using a gun like this, but it doesn't necessarily say what's going
Right.
on. Well, I'm not sure why it's saying Ellen Ripley. I think it may be because in their photos, but
Yeah. But look, either way, these are
yeah.
cool. These are cool pieces. Just I would be careful paying a premium for them before I knew, you know, over what market value is before I knew what the Ellen Ripley connection was.
Yeah.
But they're very cool.
Yeah, the stunt flame is good looking. I'm not sure I've ever looked as
Yeah.
closely at one of those. The stunts.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I've seen handled before. They're
Very
around.
fun. I kind of like that.
I have a stunt pulse rifle over my right shoulder down there. I love this 981 to the Alien War Survivor shirt.
Oh, is that the old? That's the London exhibit. Oh, that's pretty neat.
The underground experience that we talked about when Harry Harris was on the show.
Pretty
Really
neat to
cool.
have something from it. I guess I hadn't thought. Obviously, there was a gift shop, so that's kind of neat.
Course.
Yes,
right.
I think that's worthwhile. I think you need to get that T-shirt. Within reason, I think you should get that.
Within
shirt.
reason, yeah.
Yes.
Like
I'm going to $10,000. Get that shirt.
Yes, all the way up.
Yeah.
991 and 992. I kind of love these.
Yep, they're pretty fantastic. Again, they have shown before, but pretty great.
They have, but I really want to start building a collection from these movies or at least that movie. So really just the first one, but it's Men in Black. It's Will Smith, Agent J, and Tommy Lee Jones, Agent K suits from Men in Black 1, the superior film. And they're really the film is really great. I just watched it again recently. It totally holds up. I think
absolutely. Yep.
The humor and the wittiness of it and the incisive kind of deconstruction of the conspiracy and alien genre. I just love all of it, and it's just fantastic. So I think I'm going to mark these and probably go after them.
Very, very cool. I don't know. And again, obviously everyone watches and looks at different things, but I don't know if you heard about this. Apparently, about a year ago, Will Smith was involved in an incident during the Oscars. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, they don't air out here, so
very fascinating. Apparently, there was some sort of a joke at the expense of his wife, and he decided to hit Chris Rock. Yeah, no, it was all the papers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So check it out. You can. I definitely think you can find it on the internet somewhere.
Okay.
They have got, and I know they were talking about this. They have some a full line of Starship Trooper stuff, starting with 996. They've got a full Johnny Rico mobile ensemble. They've got all sorts of other characters. Denise Richards, Carmen Ibanez, rifle prop. Various helmets, Dina Myers, Dizzy Flores' helmet. I'm guessing this is all specifically match these characters, and then they also have other just generic mobile infantry ensemble. Fan of the movie. It goes
all the way through 1014.
Fan of these props. I always like these things. Never really bought them. Almost bought them. These things have been around, but I do like them all. And the fact that they put together a full Johnny Rico, very easy and kind of fun. Sort of from when he's, I think, later in the film, when he's sort of more of an official badass, I think, is where that all goes. If you're a fan of authoritarian overtones, I think you will enjoy that film. This just, boy, it keeps going. A lot of Starship Trooper stuff.
Yeah, all the way to 1014. Yeah.
1011, Phil Tippett concept sketches for some of the bugs, which is very cool as well. If I little Phil Tippett in there, which is pretty neat.
1024.
Let's see, 1024.
Because we have to.
Dun dun dun. Yep. Well, at least they're properly identifying it as Conan the Destroyer. That's something.
It's the Destroyer. It's an Atlantean stunt from Destroyer.
The longer handle, I guess. Right.
Yep. Correct.
I get a kick out of 1025. It's a Lady Hawk concept sketch. I like that movie.
Yeah, that is cool.
And it's just kind of neat to see a little piece of art from that. Yep. Very fun.
Alan Parsons Project, was that the score on that film?
Was it? That I don't even remember. Yeah. I don't even remember. I haven't watched it in years. I'm curious if it holds
crazy
up.
Synthy score, which
I agree with that.
Feel very,
I didn't know.
very 80s. I kind of love 1027 too. The Princess Bride 1988 VHS Sales Award for going platinum. Or whatever. It's $1 million.
I guess if people are paying VHS millions of dollars for sealed VHS, shouldn't you pay at least $300 for a Princess Bride VHS sales award?
There's only one of those in theory.
1028 starts
there is a ton
wild
of
and woolly
stuff.
Harry Potter stuff. How is this in here? I guess is this from Warner Brothers? I mean, am I allowed to bring this up?
I don't think they've ever done anything officially. I don't know. I mean, I know there's official stuff out there because of
this
things that
just
were gifted.
Seems like a lot. I mean,
but there is a lot. I mean,
this is great stuff.
It's a lot of lots. Yeah.
I mean, Harry acceptance letter. Again, we've seen bits and pieces. We've seen the envelopes, right? We've seen Gringotts coins and silverware. But check out 1034, Gryffindor crest concept artwork. I mean, that's wild stuff from the art department. That's really, really cool. And we've seen cast and crew gifts like the watch in 1037, but boy, oh boy, Adobe concept art. It's a print, but still really neat. Another special effects crew gift, a Whomping Willow statue. I've never seen that before. That's really cool looking.
Yeah, it goes all the way through. I'm just looking at it here, all the way through 1115.
Well, look at starting at 1043. Look at the wand collection: a Sirius Black wand, a Lupin wand. I think these are all. None of these are the light up wands. I believe these are all just the. There's
static.
Different wands. They have they have ones with little I guess light elements built into the
it's
the tip, I guess. Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the sort of hand painted, I guess, resin sort of, looked to, it's trying to look like it's, carved from whatever with all the runes and stuff on it. But just great. I love Azkaban. I mean, to get a Remus one, that's pretty neat. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean,
Yeah, there's
this
a
is
bunch of
just
great stuff.
wild stuff. Stuff from Dumbledore's office. Various candies from Wizzo Chalk, exploding bonbons, pumpkin juice label. I mean, this
Lots
is
of
definitely
art
coming
department
from
stuff.
lots of art department stuff here. Totally. Um, Office decoration concept sketches, different title sketches. Really, really cool stuff.
Crew
I mean,
shirts, the Quibbler, the tabloid.
oh yeah, very, very neat. Staghorn jar label, head in, various like logos and ads. Um,
Deathly Hallows,
yeah, I
Helena Bonham
love.
Carter.
I mean, all of this like not merchandise, but in show merchandise or in film
Hmm.
merchandise. The various.
Yeah,
Because I mean, they must have had just I mean, the art department must have just been insane. So pretty
it
damn neat.
was. If you
Yeah,
ever find yourself in London,
yeah. You have to
the
go to
um,
that
the Harry
exhibit.
Potter
Yeah.
experience at Leavesden, it's really incredible.
And then there's that store, right? We've talked about this. The store in
Yeah, Mina
London
Lima,
proper. Yeah, were they the art
the
designers? They were the
graphic
graphic
artists.
designers, yes.
Yeah,
And they sort of have their own stuff. Victor Crumb belt, the Yule Ball invitation. Oh, look at this. 1094 Dumbledore's Elder Wand prop.
oh,
Uh,
that's really cool.
Ron Weasley wand, 1095. I'm blown away. I mean, I love the art, but I'm blown away by the wands. I
The
gotta just
wand
say, they
selection is
keep
very.
hitting me. Yeah, look at 1101, Harry Potter wand. That's pretty neat.
Oh yeah,
Crew sheets, call sheets. There's another Deathly 1107, another Harry Potter. This was from Deathly Hallows. I mean, obviously he had more than one wand, but still pretty damn cool.
yeah. Wow,
They've got a lot of
Fantastic
these
Beast.
characters. This is wild. And a lot of really cool crew ephemera, like various invitations and
Yeah, and press
stuff.
kits
Yeah.
and things. Yeah, yeah. Definitely stop through here if you're a Potter guy
Oh yeah.
or
I mean,
gal.
this is huge. I mean, this is a hell of a collection. Again curious. I wonder if it's one source just with all the art stuff or something. I wonder. Just really
Yeah,
wild. Yeah. This is interesting just because they don't pop up so much. Look at 1121 and 1122, some
yeah,
dragon glass. That's pretty neat. Just something you don't
yep,
see a lot
yeah.
of.
Those have been. The Dragon's Glass
They've
has been
popped
around, but
up,
again,
yeah,
in
but two nice versions.
very sparingly. And then we're back into the old Hollywood again.
Did it just
There's
jump
a
out? Yeah,
Lon
all of a
Chaney
sudden
script
I
here.
blinked and now I'm
11:30.
looking at Bela Lugosi. Yeah, sort of a slightly
11:30 Lon
strange
Chaney scripts. Yeah,
organization. Yeah,
it's cool.
King Kong promotional jigsaw puzzle.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit of everything here. I guess sort of a monster section, but some birds, Tippi Hedren, Edith Head costume
Yeah, those are
designs.
cool.
Those popped in there. Check out the Rose 1148. Mia Farrow. We talked about the Rosemary Baby poster autograph, but this is one of her maternity outfits, a costume from
Wow,
Rosemary's
there you
Baby.
go.
That's really cool. I wonder if this is just the stuff they got in at the end and just kind of added it in the back end of the catalog.
Yeah, maybe.
1156, a Munsters title for Don't Bank on
That's very
Herman.
cool.
That's pretty wonderful. I'm guessing Herman goes to start a bank account of some sort in that episode. Not
Yeah.
sure. I'm not swearing to that, but I'm going to guess. This is wild stuff. I mean, it's a little haphazard back here, but interesting
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Some Nightmare Before Christmas storyboards. 1159 through 1161.
Some
These
marketing
are very pretty.
things for like Lego movies and stuff, things that look like they went in the theater, like a Simpsons hand holding a donut 1192. This is all like theater stuff. This is interesting.
Yeah.
And this is the one thing I did want to talk about. Let's get to 1199. This is where a bunch of diehard basically
Yes.
storyboard sketches, and then into full storyboards, or I guess they're all sketches. I guess I don't know if they evolved further.
Oh my
These
God.
are fantastic, but
They're
I
great.
actually think there's too many.
Yeah, Dave, it
I
goes all the way through to the end of the auction.
yeah, I think. I am sorry, Julians. I'm sorry, Jason DeBoard, who is a good friend. I think this is too many. I don't know. I just think you're. I think this is. I think you're hurting your own market here. I think these are really cool. These are great diehard
Yeah.
moments. I know, but I think this is too many. I thought there was a lot of Ron Cobb. This is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's hundreds. I mean, we go from, where does it start? 11.99 to the end of the auction.
And there's some really great moments.
So
And I'm just looking at some of these. I'm looking at like 1265 Marco's body storyboard sketches of him throwing the body down onto the car.
Yeah.
I mean, these are fantastic. But
there's almost 300 of these lots in here. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of lots. And I mean, they're all wonderful, but I just, I feel like,
1272, Welcome to the Party, Pal. I mean, these are fantastic, but I think it's too many.
Do them as runs or a collection. I mean, I'll certainly be after some of these, because I just love that movie. I don't know how you
I'm
approach
exhausted
when you have
scrolling, and I haven't even looked at them all. Jesus,
when you have a complete set of them.
Yeah, I don't know if this. I almost wonder if you just sold it as one giant set. If it would have been more
one set,
interesting.
or you pull out the best key moments and do a premium one, and then do wait for another future auction.
It just
and
seems like, I mean, unless somebody is going through a divorce and needs the money tomorrow, boy, oh boy, I feel like.
I mean, my guess is they found an entire collection all in one place, right?
I might have broken this up. That's all I'm saying. That's my only. That's my only comment.
I mean, it's wonderful that they're all here.
Look at 1375, McClane and Gruber final confrontation. I mean, it's like it's fantastic. Look at 1378. I mean, there are some wonderful moments here that are the movie, but wow.
Elevator shaft.
Yeah.
Action. Yeah, these are great. Wow,
they're great. I mean, I'm gonna get something here, but boy, oh boy, I do think there'll be. I think everyone listening can get one. I think that's the good news. Yeah. Everyone listening can get one. All right. Well, hey, almost not an hour, not even close. Sorry,
not even close. But
yeah,
we we moved. We got through almost 1,400 lots.
Yes, of which 1,300 of them were diehard storyboards. So, I mean, we should have done better on that first 100.
Yeah.
Anything for you, just on first blanch, just like sitting here, other than obviously a diehard storyboard. I know you mentioned the Men in Black costumes was something that you were thinking. Anything else that you
that's very cool.
Keying in on?
The Nostromo art,
blanch?
The Cobb Nostromo art.
Well, obviously, let's talk to make sure we don't go up against each other on the same one. Yeah. Or maybe one of our listeners just wants to send one to Ryan. Maybe that could be lovely. Just
there you go.
For free. Yeah.
Perfectly well. Dave's on holiday. There could be we just have to decide which of the Harpo Marx nudes we're going to get.
Yeah, we should decide. We don't go up against anyone. I really want, I think, the one where there's more cock, but we'll discuss it. Okay.
We'll get into that offline.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I mean, nice auction.
Very, very cool. Really nice to see some cool new stuff. It's interesting. There's the Harry Potter stuff is incredible. So I do have to say that's pretty monumental.
Yes, I don't collect on Potter, but yes, I will acknowledge the coolness.
But yeah, really, really cool. But a lot of interesting, some new stuff from things you don't necessarily see stuff from, that's what occurred to me.
What about for you, Dave?
It's funny having gone through that entire thing. And yes, the Ron Cobb, yes, a diehard storyboard, et cetera. But, I will say that the yogurt is still holding strong.
Schwartz.
Yeah. The liquid Schwartz is holding strong because
that's really good. That's
it will
a good one.
Look good on a shelf. And it's not even my favorite Mel Brooks movie, but I like it enough to
I
go for
love
liquid
it.
Schwartz.
That was the one that I got to see in the theater, and it was very irreverent, and it was that was a big moment. Yeah.
But I do like it though. It's just like I said, I'm drawing my own weird lines in the sand, but I do like it.
How many assholes are on this ship?
We're all assholes, sir. And I did that Superman clapperboard is in my head for whatever reason, but I'll definitely
cool.
I'm gonna go through it all again before the end of the month and see where we get to. But some cool stuff, very cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but bidding is April 22nd.
Bidding's already open.
Live auction days
already.
Yeah,
you
can bid already.
22nd, 23rd.
Auction days are April 22nd, 23rd. But bid early and bid often. Make sure to register and flag your lots. This is gonna be it's a long auction. 1,400 lots. So.
And demand that Julien's takes an ad out on this show. I really think you should demand that. Tell
That's
them
right.
You won't bid if you don't, because you're bidding because
That's
of
right.
us. That's I think
maybe we could
learn.
then later this summer we'll do the Propstore catalog presented
brought
by
to you
Julien's.
by Julien's. Yes, sponsored by Julien's and Manscaping, who I believe had just snuck away.
They just disappeared
in the middle of the night. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you move 0 manscapers. Our hirsute audience wanted nothing to do. Did not want any scaping.
Yeah. But if you were trying to sell $26,000 V'ger models, this is the podcast.
Apparently, this is the home of the 26,000 V'ger model. And soon, perhaps, the Stuffed Dreams Are Made Of T-shirt.
Yeah.
Merch.
We got to make that happen.
Anyone interested? Write us. Let us know. Would you buy a shirt? Would you? I mean, not crazy price, but would you buy one?
Yeah. People buy a shirt. Especially, I think we should do logo on the front and then like funny quotes from the show on the back, and just do like a sort of a limited edition run of a bunch of different,
like a limited edition run of 7 shirts. Then I think we can sell all 7. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if you and I each take one, we only have to move 5.
Yes, but for like this 6-month period, we're offering this phrase from the so everybody has a different.
Or maybe we do a phrase. Maybe we pick like our 5 favorite 10 phrases, and then we hold like a T-shirt vote.
Oh, that's cool.
See if we where we get that to, or something like that. I don't know.
All right. Well, we might have lost Dave again. He's been having internet troubles today, so I'm just going to sign off. We were at the end of the podcast anyway. I will say thank you as always. Please subscribe, rate us 5 stars, follow us on all of our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter channels at Props Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You can watch the show live. You can watch Dave freeze live on the podcast, and as always, write us at dreamsaremadeofpodcast@gmail.com.